Family trips to a national park, they're supposed to be these carefree memories. You ride horses, you eat camp food, the fresh air, the time together, and of course that one inside joke you tell every Thanksgiving, remember when we rode the horses and this happened? But what if that story never gets to have that ending? What if in the middle of a trip like that, one of you just doesn't come back? That's exactly what happened to 14-year-old Stacy Ann Arras. She vanished in Yosemite National Park, not miles away, not deep in the wilderness, but just 500 feet from her family's campsite. This would not only become a tragedy, it would result in years of Freedom of Information requests and denials, and finally 2,000 pages released heavily redacted. So what the hell happened? This is Death National Park. It was July 17th, 1981. Stacy is in Yosemite with her dad, George, and a small guided group on a horseback trip into the park's backcountry. Now, this isn't just any picnic site. They've come to Sunrise High Sierra Camp, a lodge-like stop that you can only reach by trail or on horseback. It's surrounded by open meadows, granite peaks, and of course, endless skies. Now, after arriving, the group dismounts, they unpack, they start to settle in. Stacy's wearing shorts, a striped shirt, and hiking boots. She's got a camera around her neck. She's already framing shots, already finding the angles that she wants. And look, she's a teenager. She's itching to move. Then she says something totally ordinary. Hey, I want to go for a walk. I want to take some pictures. So she walks by this nearby lake, and one of the older group members, a man in his 70s, offers to go with her. It's not far. We're talking less than 500 feet from camp. You can still easily hear voices from there. So the others watch him walk off. They disappear behind a small rise, and that's it. That is the last time anyone sees Stacy alive. So here's how it all played out. They head out together, Stacy up front, Gerald, the older man, just a step or two behind. Now, he's 77. He's been on horseback all morning, and by the time he hits that short rise towards the lake, he's feeling it. Halfway there, he tells her he's going to sit for a minute, catch his breath. He waves around, just go ahead, I'll be right there. So she nods, she keeps walking, the trail curves, and then she's gone from sight. So a couple minute passes, and Gerald, he's still sitting there, but there's no sounds of boots coming back saying, oh my gosh, you got to see this view. Just nothing. He stands there. He looks down the trail. Nothing. He walks a little further. Still nothing. He's confused. He doesn't know what to make of it. He didn't hear any splashes in the water. And now he's concerned. That's not just weird. It's where the hell is she? So Gerald rushes back to camp. He's breathless. And that moment when the whole vibe flips, when 1 second people are casually chit-chatting and then they look up and they see Gerald and instant silence. They're trying to comprehend what's going on when he says Stacy didn't come back. And it's instant panic. One gets on the emergency radio. We have a missing hiker, a female 14, Sunrise High Sierra Camp. We request immediate assistance. Others fan out, calling her name, screaming, Stacy, Stacy. They check the meadow. They scan the trees. They're yelling. Gerald's yelling. Nothing. Just their own voices echoing back. Now, within hours, rangers begin helping with the search on foot, doing everything they can. Then, near the tree line, a discovery. At the edge of where the trail veers towards the lake, which is one of the last places that Stacy was seen, someone spots something on the ground. And this isn't just a rock or a twig. No, this is undeniably tied to the search. It's a lens cap. Not the whole camera, just that tiny little lid that should have been on her lens. And you can feel instantly the search team's pulse change, right? This is it. This is the thread that we needed. People start thinking we're onto the trail. We're about to put this together. We're going to find her. The radios are lighting up. The line as they're searching tightens. Every boot hits the dirt a little harder. They're widening the sweep. Their eyes are scanning for the next breadcrumb, a footprint, dropped water bottle, anything. But then nothing. Step after step, minute after minute, the trail just goes cold. no camera, no Stacy. And suddenly that lens cap, the thing that just gave everyone this shot of adrenaline and hope, starts to feel like a cruel joke. It's not a trail anymore. It feels like a dead end. And the only thing that the wilderness has given them is this small clue that seems to be too small to solve anything. And then the full search teams arrive. Park rangers bringing in their teams of search dogs, looking everywhere they possibly can. The scent teams are moving towards the lake, sniffing for any trail, any trace that Stacy might have left. Helicopters are in the air overhead. They're dipping low enough for the rotors to send ripples across the water, hoping that she's somewhere visible in the open. And look, they're methodical. They're combing through meadows, weaving between tree trunks, looking into the rocky crevices where you'd actually never expect to find a person, but they're looking. Volunteers are coming in on foot. They're either sweating from the sun or from the worry and the panic of all of this. But as the hours pile up, and with each pass, with each, all clear coming over the radio, the reality is setting in. Hope starts to fade away. There's no footprints that go anywhere. There's no clothing. There's no trace of her. In the beginning, everyone thought that this lens cap was going to be the first domino, but now it feels like the last trace that anyone will ever hold in their hands of this little girl. The search area keeps growing. The grid keeps widening, but the hope is shrinking fast. So you've got over 100 searchers on foot, 3 helicopters logging 40+ hours of flight time, 8 dog teams, climbers, divers, volunteers covering 3 to 5 square miles of this rugged terrain. And that's really when you start asking yourself, if she's not here, where is she? So let's dive into the theories. And remember, later we're going to talk about the redacted case files, the freedom of information requests that have been denied for decades. Someone wanted something hidden. So keep that in mind as we're going through these theories. Because again, how in the world does a 14-year-old girl less than 500 feet from a guided camp just disappear? So let's go ahead and break it down. Now, theory number 1, she wandered off and got lost. Now, you might hear that and think, come on, how can you lose somebody in 500 feet? But this is Yosemite. You step past one ridge line, the terrain folds like an accordion. You've got granite outcroppings, blind curves, brush that eat your line of sight instantly. So you can think you're walking towards the lake and actually be funneling yourself into some hidden ravine. But here's the thing. They brought in the helicopters. They brought in the dogs. They went grid by grid and nothing. So you get lost. You eventually leave a trail. Stacy left nothing but a lens cap. Theory number 2. An accident in the lake. People have speculated that she might have gone to the water's edge and slipped in. Maybe she drowned. And yeah, on paper, that's not far-fetched. That's where my mind went. Kids slip near the water all the time. But that lake was searched. Boats, divers, shoreline sweeps. If she went in, they would have found something. Clothing, her camera, her. Instead, the water gave us nothing. Theory number 3, foul play. Now this is the one that makes most people shift in their chair. The idea that someone, maybe not from their group, maybe someone already in that backcountry saw her. They watched her. They waited for that 30-second window when the old man sat down and pounced. It could have been another hiker, a stealth camper, someone living off the grid with no good intentions. You don't need a van in the woods to make a person vanish. You just need isolation, opportunity, and speed. And by the way, my first thought was, what about the story about the older gentleman, Gerald? He was the last person to see her. He was the last adult with her. Is there anything there? But according to reports and documents available, Gerald was never considered or treated as a suspect that was investigated. Theory number 4, she wanted to disappear. Now listen, I don't buy this one at all, but it's out there. People say maybe she walked off on her own. She wanted to start a new life. I'm sorry, at 14 years old, that's a TV movie plot. You don't leave your family, your stuff, your camera, your whole life in the middle of the woods to just vanish. And where are you going to go? And you certainly don't pick a route where your odds of dying in the first 24 hours are sky high. And that's it. Those are all the theories. Those are all the possibilities that are being considered. And with no other evidence or signs of anything, on July 26, 1981, the massive operation wrapped up. 9 days in total with 8,000 man-hours, 3 helicopters, and over $50,000 spent. But this story is far from over, including new theories that would challenge everything that we know. Now, look, when you want answers, many people, they go to the paper trail, right? Families, researchers, reporters, they start filing requests trying to see what the Park Service actually has. What do they know? Now, with this lack of evidence, you might expect the file to be paper thin, right? Uneventful, boring even. But there's secrecy around all of it. In 2011, researcher 𝗍𝗢𝗨𝗥𝗧𝗘𝗖𝗧 files a FOIA request for the entire Stacy Arras case. And here's the shocker. It's not a few dozen pages. It's 2,000 pages of reports, interviews, search logs, maps, everything. And after 30 years, you'd think, well, they're just going to hand it over. Nope. Denied. He appeals in May of 2011 and he's denied again. The reason? FOIA Exemption 7A. Releasing it would interfere with enforcement proceedings. I'm sorry, what enforcement proceedings? This was a 3 decades old case with no suspect, no charges, no trial, nothing. And they're still calling it active? What are we missing? And even the scraps that have come out, heavily redacted, names blocked out, coordinates blurred, entire paragraphs replaced by thick black bars. And here's the thing. When you lock down a file like that, all you do is light a match under the rumor mill, right? Now it's not just a missing persons case, it's a vault that's been locked and it seems that somebody doesn't want it opened. 40 years later, the public still can't see what's inside today. And when you hide the facts this long, people fill in the blanks themselves. And that's when the really wild theories start flying. You can roll your eyes if you want, but people believe them. So here are the speculative theories. First up, the Yosemite vortex theory. Some hikers swear there are spots up there where compasses spin, GPS dies, and many people just vanish. They say Stacy walked into one of those spots and never came back. No trail, no scent, no remains. Then there's the missing 411 angle. 𝗍𝗢𝗨𝗥𝗧𝗘𝗖𝗧 talks about cases just like this. Young, healthy people disappearing near water, near granite, in sight of others, and Yosemite is full of them. And Stacy checks almost every single box. And if you want to go deeper, there's the old Miwok legend about the Watcher, a spirit that protects certain lands by warning people away or taking them. Did Stacy walk into somewhere she wasn't supposed to be? And then you've got the wildest one, the time slip theory. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but people swear there are places in Yosemite where you step in and you step out somewhere or somewhen else. To us, you're gone. To you, it's just a second later. And if that happened, maybe Stacy is still out there, just not here. And what's really crazy is with the lack of evidence and the lack of plausible theories, some of these sound a lot more interesting and even a lot more probable to some people. To this day, no trace of Stacy Ann Arras has ever been found. Not her camera, not her clothes, not a single sign beyond that lone lens cap. The truth is, innocent people end up in true crime stories every day. Don't let it be you. Get the Protect Yourself toolkit below. Now, keep the true crime binge watching going. Click here to watch the next story, which has got more twists than you're ready for.